So what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So tonight's procedure is going to be trying to get this Polaris, what is this? Polaris General. Looks like a Ranger. Mix between a Ranger and a Razor. Whatever, it's a Polaris General. 1000 or 800 or something. I really don't know what size it is. I know it's all built with super ATV suspension and all that stuff. So fix why both front wheels are leaning this way and all the axle boots are pretty tore up. It steers all over the place. So, and the battery goes dead, and every time we put a new solenoid on it, it burns out. So I'm gonna try to jump start it and get it running, which the gas cap's been gone for the last month or so. Get it running and get it inside the shop so we can start tearing it down. The customer stated that I think the electric fan's got to come out, the rack and pinion got to come out, and he wants all four, or at least the front. We'll start with the front wheel bearings knocked out, and we're supposed to replace all that because all that's not working. Fix the electric start, it works again. This is gonna be like the third time we've done that, but I'll get it cranked and see what I can do on that. Oh man, oh shit, that shorted the battery out. Okay, the ends aren't touching. I need to get some new jumper cables. These things are about shot. So, just got a car battery down in there. And it's in part. See how this thing cranks. Ain't been started in freaking weeks. Alright, let's see if we got power. No power. Oh wait, I seen a flash. There we go. Alright, so I gotta get something and cross that solenoid out. Alright, let's see if she'll start. Let me crank the car. I'll get something bigger than this screwdriver. It ain't putting out enough amps. Alright, I got a hammer. Oh, there she goes. Almost. I let it run for a second. That thing's got some issues. Like, here, I'm gonna show you the front end. Like, look at the front wheel. It is like wheel bearings or something are shot. It barely drove in here. It like automatically went to limp mode. And felt like only one back wheel was pulling, but I could have sworn when we parked it was in four-wheel drive. But there's not supposed to be nothing wrong with the back wheels. But something happened to it with this door. It's got hinged in here real bad. I don't know if that got bent or something. But it'll latch, but it's freaking supposed to be back here. So I don't know what's going on with the front. I know he said the electric fan wasn't working. And he thought the rack and pinion was shot. I don't know if that's rack and pinion or not. But I'll get a jack under it and jack it up and see how bad the tires shake on her. Well, I got her jacked up. Now looking at it, there's something wrong in there. Because I can't believe this thing is so tight. I'll get an impact and get them tires jerked off. And see if we can get the bearings out. So I went ahead and got the lug nuts pulled off. And get the front wheels out of the way. So it looks to me like I'm pretty sure the front brakes are gone. Look, that brake shoe ain't even on the pin no more. It's got so thin. But yeah, it's from this running crooked in there. I hope the hub part down in here is alright. Yeah, look, it just spit the brake shoe out. That's wild. Never had one ram this bad before. But yeah, yeah, they said something about rack and pinion, but it doesn't. The rack and pinion's like good, but I'm pretty sure all their problem was right here. So the axle's not broke, but he is definitely gonna need some brakes because they're gone on both sides. So I guess I'll have to take this nut off, get the brake caliper pulled off. Looks like it had some kind of plastic guide back here. It melted into it a long ways. But the caliper's just got 2 bolts back here to take out, and all this will come off with it. If anybody want to know what the size of these bolts was, it was 15 millimeter on the back of here. I don't like this impact, but my cordless one was dead. But it gets the job done. Yeah, to do brake shoes, behind this plastic piece right here, like right there, that one's a blank. So you wouldn't mess with that one, I guess. But it should be, it might have a rubber cap over it. But in that one, you shove an Allen wrench in there, and you, after you get this plastic piece off, and you really, I don't think you have to take the caliper off. You might have to, but you unscrew that back, and the pads will come out. And like I said, you might have to take the caliper off, but that's how I've done them before. And you can change your brake pads, which, yeah, it's gonna, I might have to change them on this one. It ate it up real bad. Okay, now to do wheel bearings, which I know everybody's gonna have to do wheel bearings. The proper way would be to pull this bolt out right here, pull that one out right there, knock this off right here, and then drive this off. And before you do all that, or you can do it after, it really don't matter, you gotta take this tie rod end off back here and take this pin out and the axle nut off. Wrong side. Alright, you don't have to take that one off, because you can take it off down here and do the same thing under the bottom. So I won't mess with the top. I haven't seen one like that before. Must be some of that performance aftermarket parts. Super ATV stuff right there, because most of them just have one place to take it off. But it looks like it's going to be the 18 mil socket. Dang, cord keeps jacking up on here. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to loosen that. And we're going to leave it about I'll screw it back up to where it's flush, like that right there, at the bottom of the nut. I'll take a hammer and tap it a couple times on the bottom. Well, I guess that sucker's gonna be in there. Well, I gave this thing just a couple more solid taps and it popped up out of there real easy. So, get that out. It's supposed to spin like that. Looks like you about need new tie rod ends. But I guess we'll change all that if it comes with the rack and pinion, but I figure these are part of the Super ATV suspension because they're longer than stock. So, because these have been changed. It's crazy, this thing's got a place for like a shock mount to go here. It looks like another one to go up there. I don't know if that was where your stock shock went, and then they add this shock. So they add another bracket up there at the top, like double shocks, I guess. Because I know that looks like an aftermarket shock too. But I see the stickers on it right here. It says Super ATV. These parts might be hard to get, because, well, any of these parts. The wheel bearings should be standard. So I'd probably went with portals anyway if I was going to drop something down like this, because portals have oil in them, and I feel like they take a lot of strain off of your axles by gearing it down. A portal does. So, but in return, you get bigger tires, and you still end up with the same gear ratio. Not where you're trying to turn big tires with not enough torque. But I'll go ahead and get this cotter pin pulled out here. But dang, I'm just not in my groove on cotter pins tonight. They're just getting all jacked up. Normally I use a pair of wire cutters to get these things out of here, but they can put up a fight. I use it to get them started. Take your hammer, tap on them, nothing through there, or they'll smash and get even more stuck. There we go. Got the thing out of there. Those are kind of important. They keep the nut from coming loose, so your front wheel just don't fly off. But let me see what size socket that is. See if we can get it off. See how bad the damage is on the back of this hub. Alright, so I got a 1 1/16. And if I had some spray, I'd certainly spray it on here, but I'm out of it. See if this thing will do it. Might have to get the big gun. Well, I'll be wrong. It wasn't even tight. That might have been part of the wheel bearing mount, because if you leave these loose, the wheel bearing can walk apart and the balls will all jump out of it, because these are made to be tight, like torqued on. So yeah, that comes off like that right there. You see the bearing actually rides on the outside of the hub, so it doesn't actually ride on the CV axle, which I don't know why, because you're more likely to change the CV axles than you are the hubs. But the other half, okay, the other half's gone. That's just the front of the CV axle, and I don't even feel a race. I'm pretty sure both races are supposed to go right here, and that one is going to have to be cut off. So it's going to be a nightmare to get off, because it done ate grooves all in the hub. Like there's usually a race. Let me get that back shot. There's usually a race here and a race there. There's a set of balls on this side and a set on that side. And there ain't a ball one there, they all fell out the back. Alright, so I got my 15 mil, my impact. I'll go ahead, I got a 15 wrench. I'll go ahead and pull the bolts out right here. Hopefully y'all can see it. There's a bolt here. You put the wrench as a backup. I'll stick this one in there. Pull these out. The end of this impact actually broke off one time, and I took a welder and welded it back up square, and that's why it does so much shaking all the time. Now part of this is the bolt has to come out of here. The bolt's got to come out of the hole that it's in. Or the ball joint won't ever come out. You get it out like that right there. Now I'll get this topping out. Same thing. I ain't gonna video it again, but you'll get the drift. Pull that one out. Okay, so I got both bolts out. So now I just need to start beating this loose. Now if you got a pickle fork, as we call it, you can use it here too. There's one part off. Yeah, two hands are better than one. Okay, so that's off. So, here's what it looks like in there. Pretty gnarly. Can't even tell what's bearing and what's spindle. Ugh. I wouldn't even want, if it was me, I'd just buy this whole piece with a bearing in it. But it can be expensive. The front of the axle has been gnarled up too. Thing's pretty bad shape. So now to do everything again on the other side. So I ain't gonna video it again because y'all get the idea. It's the same thing, just over again. Okay, so I got this side apart and the bearing was more intact. You can see the balls in there. And all the balls that was in the back fell out. They're supposed to be in that little plastic cage thing, and they just all fell out, and the snap ring fell out too. So I don't know what the deal was with that, but there's a snap ring I was talking about. I think it goes in here in the front. You can see the groove, or it goes in the back, one or the other. But I think, yeah, this has a stop on the front side. I'm pretty sure the bearing drives out the back because there ain't nothing to stop it. So this must have moved, or this was never put in right, and it popped out. The races, there's usually two of these. The other one's probably still on my hub. Yeah, the other one's right here on hub. See, it comes right off. So you got one on that side, one on this side. So that's what it looks like in the middle. Split race bearing. And the front side, go right in there and riding them balls like that. But the thing is that nut that was on the axle was only finger tight. So after I pulled the pin off, I unscrewed it with my fingers. Didn't even need the impact, so that's what caused the bearings to walk away from each other, letting slack in there, causing water to get in, everything else. And that's what causes wheel bearings to go out. So them need to be torqued down tight. The hub, the center of the hub, right here, this pipe piece you see is actually a spacer. So when the nut is all the way tight on the front, this bottoms out against the bearing will be around it, and it bottoms back out against the back of the axle. That way everything is sandwiched tight and solid. So it ain't like the old school wheel bearings like you have on a trailer or a car where you can squish them. Now these need to be squished tight as they can be, that way they don't walk apart. Because when them races walk apart, the balls start jumping out and dirt goes in the middle. So yeah, make sure your hubs are tight. Don't run them loose. So basically what we're going to do is, we're going to take this. See the size of the hole, since this one the snap ring ain't in there. We're going to get a socket, like if you got any of these. It's a big socket. You want one bigger than that. That fits pretty snug, but one that'll go through there pretty easy. So that one's kind of small. Let's see, I'll find one. Yeah, that one right there. See, it's touching the outsides, but it's not tight. Put that on there, and basically you want to get your sledgehammer, which I don't know where mine's at the moment, but I'll put it down on the floor for now because it's got a good ways to go before we're going to touch the floor. But normally you'd set that in a vise and go to pressing, or you put it in a press, and press down on it. But we'll hit it and see if we can get it to move. Oh, I'll set this camera down, that way I ain't shaking it. There we go. So them have been changed before because they come out easy. Now these, see, it looks like two bearings now because it broke in half on the way out. And that's why you don't want to beat it in, because it'll shatter like that while you're trying to drive it in. And it knocks the seals and everything out. So you use a press. When you press it in, it's good to have an old one of these bearings so you can set, or you gotta have something that sits right on the outer ledge there. That way it doesn't crush the stuff inside. So that one's good to go with a bearing. I'll see if this other one will do something. Which, I don't know if there's a snap ring in there or not. Because, no, I don't see a snap ring, but I see the broken race. I doubt it's going to budge. But it's got a little bit of lip left. Now that one is probably not going to come out that easy. Left, and it's out. I can't believe that, but see, it just disintegrated on the way out. I'll have to take a Dremel or a sandpaper wheel and clean that up. I don't know if a snap ring will go back in there, but I guess I'll give him them bearings in a box. He said they're under warranty, so I can take what's left back up there. Okay, the other hub, you know how the race was stuck on there. I managed to put it in a vise. I took a punch and kept hitting it till it cracked. And I'm able to wedge this in between the crack there. See if I can get you a shot of it. Wedge this in the crack in the race. And then I can take it off like that right there, which it's just gonna have to be ground up because it's covered, or ground off, because it is mangled to heck right here on the end. So I'm gonna have to take a sandpaper wheel on a Dremel or a die grinder or something. Clean that. Get all them burrs off of there. Cause the new bearing won't ever go over that. So that one had to be cracked to go over it. So all the bearings are out. So now we'll see about warrantying them out. And I guess next time or tomorrow I'll come down here and start getting I gotta get the electric fan, the rack and pinion, or see if he still wants to do the rack and pinion. Because like I said, I don't see nothing wrong with that rack and pinion. I mean, there's just a little slack, but normally they have a little play in them. I think it was all his wheel bearings was bad. Let's make it steer funny. The electric fan is up here. I can spin it, but it wasn't coming on for some reason. So he's wanting to match it with one from parts store. Just listen to the motor run out on it. If we can get a look up in here. Yeah, it's just like one on a car. Electric fan behind the radiator. It's got 4 10mm in it. It's packed in there though. So it wouldn't be too bad if that winch wasn't under there, but you know, that's how it goes, I guess. I might squeeze it out of there. Hope this bar right here ain't gonna be in the way. I might have to take the shock off if it is, but it should come down on there without having to drain the radiator or out the other side. But yeah, I'll save that for tomorrow or whatever. And 'cause I gotta get to bed, I'm tired.